Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. It's February 14th. Again, these crazy markets, right? So yesterday was wild, right? So and, we opened up, right? Pushed down a little bit, and then drove higher, right? Making new highs. Then we pulled back, started to get bought up, pulled back again, and then I'm actually not sure what news came out, but it flushed lower. I was in a trade actually, and it stopped me out because of that. And then later on, there was another big flush lower. Now I don't know. I'm not sure if this is the bond market, the 30-year bond auction, or it was Trump per se. And I got in again, long. Hit right to the level I talked about yesterday at 60.88. Came right down to it, and so I got in. Hit 2 to 1 first target, and now I was sitting at break even, and it was starting to rip higher. And if you guys were in my community server, my analysis, okay, I'll show you this right now just so it makes sense what I'm saying here. Oop. So I'm going to give you right in my Discord server exactly what I said. Okay, right here. I don't know if you can see that, but I said, so here's my analysis for today. This is at 11 a.m. The market is pretty strong right now. It's not the strongest, however, the major sectors in the NASDAQ are green. That is your semiconductors, technology, communications, and discretion. You do have weakness in financials, however, that's not making much of a difference. Nvidia and Tesla are very strong today. Now we are in supply in Nasdaq and ES. We now have migrated the VPOC higher in the session. This is bullish. So as far as the trade plan, I'm looking for a liquidation break or a pullback to get long. This might not come. However, it does come, I think we should trend higher and really have shorts that have to cover, right? So that last long I got was on a liquidation break. Like I said, I hit my target, and then more volatility happened. As that market was ripping higher, I think I was up 13, 14 points. And then all of a sudden, you get this next batch of volatility, and it nipped me out by a point on break even, and then did exactly what I just said. Once it got going, shorts had to cover, and that's what happened. It continued to rally because shorts had to cover. And that's just been, unfortunately, my month. I've been in trades that nip me out at break even. It's just, this month has definitely tested me because this is not knowing how to trade. This is just how it is in a Trump market, right? Multiple times I've had really good looking trades, and boom, something said, and I'm whipped out of my position. In a normal market, without that happening, it's a beautiful. Those trades would go on to be beautiful trades. That's just the way this market's been going for myself in February. A lot of break even trades where it's like looking really nice and comes back and hits my break even. This is just how the cookie crumbles in trading. So, without that long soliloquy, let's get into it. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the market, along supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, and the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the previous day. And my bread and butter market internals that tell me what's under the hood of the market, right? And what's the market capable of. That is my edge. So I hope to impart that edge on you. Okay? Now, every day, I do this every morning. Hopefully, you come join me, subscribe, set an alert. All right, that would mean a lot. Now, of course, if you enjoy my content, all right, smash the like button. You can wait till later if you want to, but please do that. That means a lot to me. It helps my channel. Okay, so every day I do this. I give you the news. I give you the lowdown. I give you the story. I'll give you scenarios. I'll give you a lot of information. Okay, now once that information, right, produces a beautiful trade and educational, I will post that on my YouTube Shorts. I posted another video yesterday So hopefully you enjoy that. That's one of those, includes one of those liquidation breaks and how you're supposed to look at a market in a liquidation break. So I think that's pretty good. I also post on my X at Gonzo719. All right. Also TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. All right. Now, I had a live event yesterday at 9:30 a.m. A couple people came and saw how I analyzed the markets, how I looked at ticks, how I looked at market internals, how I looked at gamma levels, the whole enchilada, right? The whole enchilada. So I think that was great. I didn't have a trade on that because I was waiting for a pullback and I got it later. All right. But you can join my Discord community at Confluence Trading. All right. So hopefully you guys join that. Go to my YouTube homepage and you can join Discord. All right. I'm not sure if I'll go live today, but most likely will. And so come join me. Have a lot of interaction with me. There's a lot more in detail, a lot more nuance of what I talk about pertaining to the opening, the market, right? The new data that we don't know yet. So I think it's really beneficial. So hopefully come join me. All right, now let's look at the watch list and what's moving futures right now. All right. Now I'm liking this because I'm a owner of silver. So silver's up 4.1%. Loving it. All right, we got Ethereum up 1.31, crude's up 0.88, VIX is up 0.79 to 15.22, Bitcoin is up 0.28, gold's up 0.21, Russell's up 0.16, 10-year yield is kind of flat, ES is down 0.10, NASDAQ is down 0.12, 30-year bonds are being sold down 0.14, the Dow is down 0.20, and the dollar is actually down. Okay, moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. Let's look at our good old Tesla. And of course, when it was at 330, of course, this is how trading goes. I was literally had a position, was getting ready to fire it off towards the end of the day, and I was like, you know what? Probably gonna regret this. And I didn't go. I had to do an option structure to go long. And of course, it's driving. I'm still can do something, so I still think we have much more to go. Let's see. I don't know. It's kind of tough because the market just pushed up. It needed to have continuation, but I know it's been relatively strong. So of late. So all right, that's up 1.81 this morning. Boeing's up 0.57, AMD up 0.44, Nvidia's up 0.23. Now to the laggards. We have Meta down 0.22, Apple down 0.26, Amazon down 0.35, Google down 0.46, and Coinbase, even though they were initially up with their earnings, they are down 2.47%. Moving on to the top sector stocks. Who's leading here? Exxon is up 0.43, UPS up 0.31, Walmart up 0.29, Snowflake up 0.28. Laggards here. We have Costco down 0.19, McDonald's down 0.27, Qualcomm down 0.37, and Chevron's down 0.79. I believe they're making cuts, right? Because look, they usually don't see Exxon and Chevron separated like that. So very interesting. Now to the more granular list here. Let's check out here. Now, Roku reported earnings, they're up 14.06%. Airbnb reported earnings, they're up 13.66%. GameStop also reported earnings, I believe, up 8.1. I know AMC also did. Baba is making a run. I did own Baba at like 80 something dollars. At one point, I owned it at $60, and now it's making the move. Unbelievable. That's how trading is, right? DraftKings up 5.02%, Herbalife up 4.9%, Chris Therapeutics up 4.81%, Intel up 2.4%, HIMS, that's another regret. I was going to buy that, I want to say in the 20s, but there you go, trading. Wayfair up 2.29. Now, let's go to laggards. SoundHound down 16.2%, Twilio down 8.72%, Applied Materials, they had earnings down 4.76%. Palo Alto had earnings down 4.23%. Taiwan Semiconductors down 1.61%. All right. That's the more granular list. Now we go to the guts of the market, which drives my trades basically, is our sectors and who's leading the pack. That is your discretionary. That is your Tesla, your Amazon, your Home Depot. Those are the largest holdings in that sector. All right. Followed by energy, right? Even though Chevron's down, Exxon is up, and everything's flat. Besides technology down 0.13 and semiconductors down 0.20. So semis is the lagger, but it's not much. And we made a big move yesterday, so sometimes the market likes to digest that move, but we'll get into that. Now we're going to get into some economic calendar, of course, some news. All right, so let's do this. All right, so today retail sales, export import prices, uh, business inventories at 10 a.m., Fed Logan at 3. So a lighter day of data, a lighter day of data. If we go to just finish out the earnings, here's Coinbase, Twilio, DraftKings, Applied Materials, Airbnb, Palo Alto, Roku, Win, all reported after the close. Now this morning, Moderna reported, AMC, and that's about it that we care about. All right, so that's your earnings, and that wraps up earnings for this week. Okay, we'll go back to the to the economic calendar, and we'll go to news. All right, so Moderna stock fell 4.5% after the biotech lost more than expected in the fourth quarter as the biotech company continues to slash costs and see lower demand for its COVID vaccine. GameStop stock rose 8% after CNBC reported that the video game retailer is mulling over potential investments into Bitcoin. Airbnb stock rose 14% after the short-term housing rental company reported fourth quarter earnings and sales ahead of expectations. Okay. Palo Alto stock fell 4.7 after the cybersecurity firm issued a disappointing earnings outlook for the current quarter. Apple stock fell 0.3 despite Bloomberg reporting that the iPhone plans to release its artificial intelligence features on Chinese devices by the middle of the year. Applied Materials stock shed 4.8% as the chipmaking equipment maker forecasts second quarter revenue below estimates, citing tighter U.S. export restrictions on chip-making technology to China. Roku stock rose 15% after the technology company forecasts annual revenue above expectations. Okay, now more news. Let's see. Trump threatens new tariffs in bid to reshape trade. Let's see. TikTok returns on Apple, Google, U.S. app stores as Trump delays ban. Berkshire sells some DaVita shares, cut stake to 45%. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else we could talk about that I didn't talk about. Coinbase, the crypto exchange, beat estimates for fourth quarter profit on Thursday, driven by higher trading volumes in Bitcoin and other digital tokens following the U.S. election. All right, but why is it down? Trying to see why it's down because it was up. Don't really know why yet. Anybody knows? They can give me the chat here. Let's see here. So Airbnb, I forget how you say that. Baird raises target price to 175 140. Coinbase, Piper Sandler raises target price to 310 from 285. Roku raises target price 100 from 75. Okay, that's there. Now let's look at the juice, see if the juice is anything. Not really. Not really anything crazy. All right, so let's just look at some upgrades, downgrades. All right, let's see. Airbnb, bunch of upgrades. Talked about that. Chris Therapeutics upgraded. MGM upgraded. Roku upgraded. Upstart upgraded. Warner Music Group upgraded. All right, downgrades. Downgrades. Nothing really stands out to me. Nothing really stands out to me. All right, let's go to another couple charts here. I want to show you guys. All right, I've been looking at a couple of these charts. So this is the new high, new lows. All right, let me refresh this and make sure This is where it is. All right. So this is pretty important for overall market breadth, right? So it's new highs minus new lows. So the higher you go up, the more stocks are making highs. The lower, the more stocks are making new lows. We are currently at 57. Now, I think that's 57 stocks are making more highs, new highs, than new lows. But if you look at this graph, it's in the middle, right? Look at some of the extremes, right? Look at some of these extremes. Like that's really bullish, right? And down here, low, right? And we're right here. So the overall market is like in the middle, right? Another thing I've been looking at is the bullish percentage index of the S&P. And that's basically based on point and figure charts. And it's basically like if you're up in this area, it's all stocks are on buy signals, right? And all stocks down here on sell signals. Okay, but what does that mean, right? When you're up here, that means that the market's probably topping out around 78, 80%. If you're down here in the 40s and the 30s, that means the stocks are probably oversold. So you can see the extremes, then it turns down, right? So, but where is it? It's right in the middle, 50. So that just tells you the overall market is just caught. It's not strong. It's not weak. However, when we talk about market profile, market internals, right? That is based on how our market actually works. All right. So if I pull that up, that's my baby. It's my bread and butter. Okay. If we pull this up, right, and this is yesterday. So if you notice yesterday, we were under zero only right at the beginning. And then what happened? Strength increased all day. Even when we pulled back around 1 o'clock, still never went negative. Okay? Look at the top here, how that ended. Info, everything green, and tech and communications led the day. Okay? So just very bullish, and you can see the SPX here hit this gamma level, went all the way back to this gamma level, and then got bought up, right? Charged ahead of 6100, which was a large gamma level, and went all the way up to here, right? So this is how our market works, our market cap weight. It doesn't move by, you know, if AMC kills it, right? It's market cap weight. It's your Nvidias, your Apples, your Microsofts, your Googles, your Metas, Amazons, your Tesla. That's what moves markets. And a little bit of Broadcom, Eli Lilly, but really the ones that I said before, the market movers. So whatever they do, our market can keep going higher, right? It doesn't matter what like UPS does. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the market. So, and as well, staples, energy, the other little sectors, energy, they're not in the waiting. It's like they can, Exxon and Chevron can like go down for a whole day and you won't even really notice it. So that's just how the market works. That's why it's my bread and butter. It shows me how strong the market is under the hood without looking at a price action. Okay? All right. Now, we're going to get into daily charts. Let's do that. Here's our daily charts. Now you can see on this chart, right? Let's look at it together. There was a trend line here, right? We broke that and closed above it yesterday. So you could consider that a break of a trend, right? And you could consider this the bottom portion of this. You could even call it a wedge, right? The bottom portion of this was held. This is your anchored VWAP for the year. This is your 50-day moving average. And look, we just ripped, right? And we broke last week's range. That's last week's highs. We broke that and the trend line. Okay, so big move, right? Can we continue? Don't know. Now, where are we at now? 609.34. 609.34. You're at the highs of yesterday's session. We did go higher, but now we're going back into range. But now we're here. Okay, so let's look at futures and see exactly where we are. See what I'm talking about? We went higher and now we're back into yesterday's range, right? So you can still see here these wicks up here, last week's highs. If we hold this today, can we keep going? Who knows? All-time highs in futures is 61.78.75. We just have to see. Qs. Look at the Qs. Pushed up way past last week's highs. And basically hit 535 was the largest gamma level, I believe. Pretty much settled around there, right? But this was last month's highs. You broke last month's highs and last week's highs. Okay. So where are we now? 535.90, 535.90. You're right at like by yesterday's close, right now. So the Qs is like basically flat right now. Okay, so let's look at futures. Here's futures, right? So you can see the wick up, and we're wicking back. In futures, we broke last week's highs, and we're right at last month's highs in futures. Okay, these highs right here, this is the highs we're at last month's. Okay, so we'll have to see. Now, if you break, here's a key resistance level, right? If you look right across here, you got resistance at the let's call it 220, let's call it 220.90. And look, it's resistance, resistance, resistance. I believe if we can just hold above this level, you got a chance to break all-time highs 22450. Okay, now remember, this wick down here, of this one or this one, okay, is the range, the huge range we've been in. Here and then here. This was Michigan consumer sentiment, and I believe down here was tariffs or DeepSeek, one of those. Okay, so let's just see. Now you got all these fanned out moving average, which is, you want to see that 90 in May, 21 to 50, and they just go in order, right? 100-day. So, and that's last year's VWAP. This is not as important this year. That makes sense. This year's anchored VWAP for futures has been holding the market, right? Okay, now let's look at the triple-headed monster, and that's our bond market. That's our dollar and the VIX. Okay. All right, let's look at the bond market. Now look at the anchor VWAP for the year. Look at that resistance right here. And looks like yields are falling right now as we speak. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. So we came up to last week's highs, couldn't break it. Now we're starting to push lower. Can this be another swing high and we go lower? The next level here is about 4.38 yield. Okay, we have to see how this turns out. That anchor VWAP for the year has definitely been resistance now. Okay, so we just have to see. Now, as far as the dollar has turned lower. Look at that. It's trending lower. Very interesting. Now, two things to note here. Okay, if yields go down and the dollar goes down, that's actually most times positive for equities. All right, positive for equities. Now, in the bond market, it's either going to be just positive because our economy is growing, or it's going to be negative. People are buying bonds out of fear. But the dollar being lower is good for everybody. So companies here in America, when we do exports, you don't want those to be too expensive for who's importing America's goods, right? Because then on your balance sheet, it's not going to be as profitable. So that's just how that works. All right, now let's look at the VIX, which is our fear gauge for 30 days out of fear. And it's just hanging out around 15, 16. Hang out around 15 or 16. Okay? Now, as we move on to the main event here, we're going to go right into the main event. That's our market profile and buying profile. All right? Let's do it. Okay. Let's bring this down. Now, we are out of that big level that I talked about yesterday. All right, let's recap yesterday. Okay, which was a very, well, I'll just show you here. All right, so right here, okay, we opened up, and I honestly was at first looking at shorts because the market wasn't too strong off the open, And then almost the ticks were so strong that I just was like, why would I take a short right now? Right? And then we drove up and then pulled back. And right around here, I got long. And I was almost hit my target in one long right here. And then it came back and got me. Like got me meaning break even, right? And then, right, I was in another long. See these hourly supports? I was like, all right, I like this. And I literally, the market was like 3 points, 4 points in my favor. And all of a sudden, boom, news came out and stopped me. I tightened my risk a little bit so it wasn't a full loss. Stopped me, right? And I was like, whoa, the heck was that? So as soon as that got out, it got very volatile. And then what happened? It ripped. Where did it rip to? To the monster level I talked about, to the most traded price of the year, right? So I was actually on a phone call with one of my friends, and I was like, this is a liquidation break. I'm like, I'm in. I think I got in at like 53, I think. I don't know if that's 53, but I got in somewhere around here. When it shot right up, boom. It hit my target, and it was, well, my target might have been over here somewhere. And it was pushing, and I was like, and I was telling him, all right, the profile had a bullish imbalance to it. It had a poor high. I said, all we need to do is break this level. I think it was 6108. Okay, break this level, and there should be short covering for the rest of the day, and we should trend higher, right? Well, what happens is there's more volatility, and all of a sudden, this candle goes all the way back, hits my break even by a point and a half or something, and then does exactly what I thought it was going to do, which was very frustrating. But that's what happened yesterday. Okay. Now, as far as our composite profile for the week, now we have some value built out here. There's the move from yesterday. Now we have value, and then we have the bottom, right? So now, okay, the most traded price of the week is still 60.88, right? So the job of the market is to bring, if it has value, follow price. You want the most traded price of the week to move up into this area. That will confirm people accepting price up here, and then you could move higher, right? But what if that does not happen, right? What if value can't follow price? Well, guess what? Price will return to value. Okay, if you cannot establish value up here, price returns to value. Now remember, this is the move out of this area right there. This is considered the test. Okay, if we hold, that will be a move higher. Now, what if we do this and go back into range? Okay, that is balance rules. This would be called a look above and fail. And we should go back to the other side around 60-20 right here. Don't know if that happens, just got to let you know that rule. Okay, now as far as levels go, okay, we have supply up here. Okay, our inventory is balanced. Okay, we got a poor low on the overnight. So shorts had poor location right at the low. This generally gets corrected, right? This is last week's highs, 61.23. All right, there's a lot going on here. There's a high composite volume node right here on 61.30 from the past. You don't see it in this chart, but it's from the past. Okay. So actually, let me show you that real quick. I said 61.30. Yeah. See this right here? Right there is what's holding this market right now. This high volume node right here. Okay. That's holding the market. So go back. So that's why this level is here. Okay. That's why this level is here. Now, like I said, there's a lot I'm going over right now. Okay. So we got to talk about certain key levels. Now, the 50% retracement of yesterday's move is 6104. 6104. I'm going to start writing my levels down so I can put it in my Discord. 6104 mid. Okay. Okay, so that's the midpoint. Now, we have single prints. Okay, now this is actually a spike, so I'm throwing a lot out here today, but this is a spike, right? And spike rules mean when you have this spike, which is an emotional buying, right? And you close at the highs. And what is the market telling us? This is just a gauge. So look at this spike, and it's a gauge, okay? If price is within the spike, the market is accepting the higher prices. If we were down here, that would be the market not accepting the prices that are higher. So right now, that is bullish, okay? That is bullish. So this becomes our area of interest right here. High volume node, supply, overnight high, okay? You have your midpoint. Now, of course, still the monster level is 60.88. This level. Okay? You do not want to see the market below that level if you want to be a bull. You don't. Okay? Also, in this midpoint, the 50% retracement, you do have the most traded price of yesterday. That could also hold the market. Okay. Now, keep in mind when you have a big move like that, and we don't have a lot of catalysts today, the market can lollygag around here today and start to build out value up here. It could be digestive. This could just digest the move, right? Markets don't always break out, right? You could get continuation. We just have to see. I don't know. Okay. So, with that being said, now again, this was your market profile and your volume profile. Now, with that being said, okay, with that being said, we are going to get right into scenarios here. Now, we're bullish structure. We're going to start with a bullish scenario. Okay, so we have a poor low, 61.21 in the overnight. Okay, right here. This is susceptible to get broken. All right. However, there's single prints here. Okay, so the area, a little bit of interest here for bulls to defend is this area. Okay, it's a little area, right? So what could happen here and how we we're going to play this. So right now, the market's at the most traded price of the overnight. Okay. And this is susceptible to get broken. And there's single prints here. Now, single prints is emotional buying from yesterday. If these are supportive, it's bullish. Okay, so we can do one of these, try to go up, even maybe tap the overnight, get into the supply and roll over, break this poor low, but hold, let's say, in single prints here. Well, if we start getting some love, we could start to make the move and do a continuation higher. Okay. Now, even farther down, remember we talked about the 6104 and the most traded price of yesterday, which is around 6098. Okay. Now, 6098 happens to be your breakout level. All right. So, even if the market came down, broke those single prints, this is your next level to be supportive. You could also get support. And I wouldn't be ecstatic if it came all the way down here to 6088, but you know that's a big level. If the market did, that's the last line. Now, if we fall this far, probably would think the market's not like buyable, like in a way of like it's not going to be strong. But I have to see, and it could move up. Now, this could only probably maybe move up to here and try to establish new value. Okay, that's all I'm interested in for the long side. Now, for the short side, you do have a poor high at the top of this overnight high. You do have supply here. You do have this composite high volume node here. You do have single prints underneath. Okay, now I haven't brought out Elfie in a while. All right, Elfie represents poor structure. Elephant on a toothpick. This is your elephant. This is your toothpick. Can the toothpick hold the elephant? If it does, it's bullish. If it doesn't, it's because you can't hold an elephant with a toothpick. Okay, so what do we look at this? Like, I'm going to look at this. If we try to push up here and fail, come through this high composite volume node, I'm going to look to break this poor low, and I want to clean these single prints. All right, if I do, I'm going to find myself at the breakout level, 6098, the most traded price of yesterday. And then this could be all she wrote right here. If it could stop there, that still would be a beautiful short. Okay, now if you break that, okay, you're going to test yesterday's lows. Then you have a high composite volume node here at 6065 in the month to date VWAP. Now your look above and fails in play, and we could probably go all the way down to the bottom of this balance, which is around 6016. Okay, that would be crazy, but that's how balance works. Okay, that's just how it works. All right, now we're just remember this. Okay, longs from here getting paid, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions have had higher lows. Okay, a little frothy, but you know what? It's weird because some days in the market you get like a sell-off, and it doesn't feel like we're like moving higher that much, but we are now. Okay, are people going to take profits today? I don't know. All right, but that's what we got now. Into the Nasdaq. Into the Nasdaq we go. Let's look at this Nasdaq together, because we got some levels here. All right, now if you notice, okay, I said these profiles, like yesterday, the ES had a bullish imbalance, right? Well, it fixed it. All right, well, it fixed it. So if we look at the Nasdaq with me, and hello, Rosita. Now, if we look at the Nasdaq, right? Remember, I said this level was the level to defend, right? That's the most traded price of the year, 217.90, right? Look, market opened here and just held this level. It was able to push up higher, right? Nvidia helped with that. Okay. Now we have a spike. Whoop. Price is accepting the spike. Bullish, right? That's bullish. Can't deny that. What I do know, right, is from the past, you have single prints here. That's emotional selling from the past. That is from the Michigan consumer sentiment. Okay. Right now, that's acting as resistance. Usually that's bearish. Okay. Doesn't mean that you just short it. It just means that, this is still susceptible to get cleaned, meaning like this is not, shouldn't be resistant. That shouldn't be resistant. Okay. Now we have supply up here. Okay. Balanced inventory. Balanced inventory, right? Same amount of longs and shorts, basically. So that's not an edge. Okay. That's not an edge. Now, midpoint, 50% retracement, 219.79. 219.79. I'm writing this down. Okay. That's your mid. What does the 50% retracement line up with? Last week's highs. This orange level. That's 219.67. Also encompasses yesterday's most traded price. 219.50. 219.50. Okay? That's important level. That could be defense for bulls. Okay? Now we do have supply here. Okay? Now, one important thing to note. Okay? One important thing to note is look at this most traded price of the overnight. It's up here, right? Those are probably longs. And now price is here. So if we continue to go away from this position, I believe that could cause a little bit of a correction. Right? Just think about it. Most people traded up here. I don't think they're shorting. Most likely they're trying to go long, and now we're below it. Right? Doesn't mean we can't go above it. That's just how you look at it. Okay? Now, trying to look at some other levels for us. That's about it. All right, I think we can go right into scenarios now. And NASDAQ, interestingly, doesn't really have single prints like the ES did. Okay, doesn't really have those. So let's do it. NASDAQ scenarios. Here we go. Okay, so bullish, right? Bullish. Remember, a defense point. A defense point is going to be right here. All right, you got the 219.79 mid. It's actually the POC as well. POC means most time spent at a price. So you want this area to encompass this, right? Most traded price yesterday, last week's highs. The POC, the 50% retracement, right? This could go up here, struggle. We go right into this area, right? Correction. Now, if the market is not that weak, let's say tech is not that weak, and it's like, all right, people taking some profits. Now you have a decision to make. If the market firms up, we could start just going back up. Now, do we break the overnight highs and keep going and clean these single prints? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Overnight lows, 220.42, could be supportive as well. All right. Now, you do have a big demand zone right here. So we could even extend this out a little bit. If it comes into here, it could get bought as well. And your last line of defense here. Now, if we move, this is what you got to understand. If we move all the way down here to this major level, yes, we could bounce. But the market might be super weak, and I might not look at a long. But if we came into here and let's just say, whoop, and the market really recovers or liquidation break happens, we could bounce a little bit. Below that is a no long for me. Okay, so as far as the bearish case, We know the most traded price is right there, and we're below it, right? We know we have supply up here, okay? We even have supply right here. So, what do you want to see? Now remember, we got overnight low. We got this area, okay? Remember, this is the inverse. So if we push up and maybe even tap overnight high, then lower high, lower high. Remember, this is going to really cook because the most trades happened at this level. You're going to fall. Go through the close. You're going to cascade down, test overnight lows. And you can move right into this area. Now remember, this area could get bought up very easily. Last week's highs, the 50% retracement of yesterday's most traded price, and you have a start of a demand zone here. If you lose this and you start to hold, we are going to go back and visit good old 217.90, the most traded price of the year. Now, just like in the ES, if you move up like this, and that's the test, but then you move lower back into range, that's called the look above and fail, and we will fall all the way down to at least 215.10, 215. This is how it works, because no, this is why longs, right? Longs, getting paid, right? And what happens if you take this down? What are they going to do? They're going to get out of their positions, get out of their positions, get out of their positions. And now you're going to get new shorts and you're going to go down. Okay? This is how it works. That works like that all the time. So, hopefully you enjoyed this content. All right? If you did, smash that like button. That would be much appreciated. Now, of course, I do this every day. Hopefully you can join me. Subscribe, set an alert. I gave you the news, the economic calendar, the leaders and the laggards, the story of the markets. I also gave you long and short trade scenarios. Okay? And check out, I just put out a couple of videos. Hopefully you can go check those out, my YouTube shorts. All right. Also, where my X at Gonzo719. Of course, my TikTok, Gonzo719Trader. And now, my Discord server, Confluence Trading. So Confluence Trading, I'm trying to make a community where you get more interaction with me. I basically show you how I look at the markets, how I see the markets, how I analyze the markets, how I set up what I want to see, right? Because every day that market opens up and we don't know that data right now. We don't know who's going to be weak, who's going to be strong, what's going to be support and resistance and the intraday. Okay? So that's why you come with me. Now yesterday I had a live event. I think it was awesome. I mean, pretty much kept me away from shorts because the market internals were telling me the market's too strong. This market's too strong. And then it boom went up higher, right? So, and then it set my trade up for day. Now, was I right on my analysis? Yes, to the T. The market held 60.88, and once it pushed above, it was going to have short covering. It's exactly what happened. I was in a trade to do it. I got whipped out, right? But my analysis was on point. Okay, you can even go to my community server and you will see it. Okay, my Discord server. All right, so join up. Go to my YouTube page. Click on the link. Come join me. All right, come join me. And everybody, hope everybody has a great weekend at Valentine's Day. Stay green. No trades to trade. And come join me today. I probably will go live. And I'll see you guys in my room. All right. Happy trading.